Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D Rose report. You know, I thought back when the big encasement deal that filled up with cement with Paul Bear in it, I thought I'm not talking about how he came back. I'm sure they just got a jackhammer and got him out. But I think about a year or so after that, he was so big and heavy and stuff, it was affecting his health for one thing. And of course the cement didn't do any good either. But he had gastric bypass surgery. And Paul, if you had gastric bypass surgery, get your money back, please, as soon as you can. Something went wrong. All right, I seen the UFC show from last Sunday. And I tell you what, the last two matches on that was just terrible. The crowds, the fans, and everybody was booing, boring. Well, I don't think they chanted boring. I just think they booed them. But it was bad, but the Lytle match was real good. It was excellent. And I think there was one other real good match on there, but you know, for your money, WWE does a hell of a good job of entertainment throughout the whole 2.5 hours, 3 hours, however long the show is. You get your money's worth out of it. Not putting UFC down, but could have been just a bad night. There was a caller on the info line that wanted to know about if there was a wrestler years ago that used to wear a Jason mask. And I looked him up, and I just wanted to tell you, there's a reason I'm going to tell you this. Jason, I'll get on with the news here in a minute. Jason the Terrible, his real name was Carl Moffat, and he went by the name also of Butch Moffat, and notable feuds with Owen Hart. In 1983, Carl Moffat debuted with the Stu Hart Stampede Wrestling as Carl Butch Moffat. In the late 80s, he went by the name of Jason the Terrible, wrestled for the Stu Hart Calgary, and feuded with young Owen Hart back then. In July 4th, 1998, Davey Boy Smith, Jason the Terrible, and Chris Benoit were all injured in a head-on automobile accident in Jasper, Alberta. Davey Boy suffered a cracked vertebrae in his back and needed 100 stitches in his head after being thrown through the windshield. Jason the Terrible suffered 2 fractures in his left leg, and Benoit suffered an injured right knee, I guess. Well, somebody lucky there. Anyway, we could be seeing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Sinbad in a new production of Arabian Nights. The former WWE star was in talks with film director and of Chuck Russell, the old Scorpion King. Kind of brown-nosing, probably. And after learning there's going to be no trip to Iraq this year, there was a big relief among a lot of the wrestlers last night at SmackDown taping. The stars were fine with the actual work required. However, the constant flying in a cargo plane proved to be a struggle. And there's been talk of a domestic tribute to the Troups show, which WWE and USO is in discussions about, which would cut a lot of expenses down for WWE. And I think they're moving some of the troops out. I'm not sure how many's left over there. I hope they move them all out quick. Let them go on their own. WWE is also planning to add a bit more entertainment aspect to SmackDown after its move to Sci-Fi. The company feels that this will help the show get back to the same level as Raw. Did you hear me? They said they think the show will get back to the same level as Raw. SmackDown's never been at the same level with Raw, never has been. But to put a bit more of an entertainment aspect would be just wonderful. And entertainment could have some wrestling involved in it. Wouldn't that be nice? Don't get me on the soapbox again. Anyway, reported earlier, WWE nixed a previously scheduled Countdown to SmackDown. You remember me telling you about that? There was going to be an hour show before SmackDown. Anyway, they nixed the idea of having the show instead air a replay of Tuesday's episode of NXT prior to last night's premiere of SmackDown on Sci-Fi. I don't know what the deal was. Anyway, Scott Hall, WWE Hall of Famer. No, it's good. It's Saturday, ain't it? I get a day off maybe tomorrow. WWE Hall of Famer Terry Funk, 66, has agreed to wrestle a Legends Battle Royal. I think I might have mentioned that yesterday. At the Wrestle Reunion event taking place this January in Los Angeles, California. They're going to have a calendar timing the match. Following last night's SmackDown, here's the card going into Hell in the Cell. Are you getting Hell in the Cell on paper? I kind of wonder, be honest if you can, are you really going to see Hell in the Cell, buy it on cable, satellite, whatever, or do you try and get it for free? Or are you going together with somebody else to, pool the money? I just kind of wondered how many's doing, a little sneaky. WWE title, Hell in a Cell title match is going to be Randy Orton taking on Sheamus. And then we got another Hell in a Cell, Kane versus Undertaker. Nexus disbands versus Cena joins Nexus match. Cena, Wade Barrett. If Nexus interferes, whatever. Cena automatically wins, though, if they interfere. I don't know if they can help but interfere. U.S. title triple threat submissions count anywhere match. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz versus John Morrison. Unified Diva title match. Michelle McCool taking on Natalya. By the way, Jeff Hardy's next to court date is scheduled for October 25th. So says the Wrestling Observer newsletter. TNA holding Impact TV tapings that day in Orlando. So it could have to be assumed that he will miss that show and be available for his tapings the following day on October 26th. Don't know how many more continuances they have. I know in this state they have 3 and 3. So you have 6 total continuances. I got the sun coming in on me. Do I look good? Be the first time. Jeff Jarrett over. This is a local match. I mean, what do you want to call it? Just a match that TNA had over the weekend. Jeff Jarrett won over Pope D'Angelo De Niro. I forget what town this was from now. Anyway, Brian Kendricks beat Shannon Moore and Douglas Williams in a 3-way match. Madison Rayne defeated Velvet Sky. TNA Tag Champions Border City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Davis beat Bear Money, Rude and Storm. Samoa Joe and Rhino beat Eric Young and Magnus. Jeff Hardy beat AJ Styles with Ric Flair. It says Jeff Hardy beat AJ Styles with Ric Flair. You think he grabbed him by the legs and just beat the shit out of AJ with Ric? I don't think so. October 2nd, history. October 2nd, 1966, Yokozuna was born in San Francisco. By the way, he died in the year 2000. October 1989. Tag Team Demolition defeats the Brainbusters to win the WWF Tag Team Championship. 1993, Sabu defeats Shane Douglas to win the ECW Championship. 1999, Ogawa, Japanese names ruin me, defeated Gary Steele to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. Anyway, the year 2000, Vince Russo decides he's not a wrestler and vacates the WC. He decided that. He's not a wrestler. So he vacates the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Russo won the title September 25th, 2000 by defeating Booker T in the steel cage match. Booker T wins the vacant title, defeating Jeff Jarrett in San Francisco 49er match. In 2006, Jeff Hardy defeats Johnny Nitro. Remember him? And wins the WWE IC Championship for the second time. 2007 on this day, John Cena is forced to vacate the WWE Championship, suffering a torn pectoral tendon the night before. Alright, I'm going to get the heck over here. I don't know, I forgot to set my clock. But anyway, let me know if you're getting the pay-per-view match. Pay-per-view tomorrow, and let me know whether you're going to, how you're getting it. Through the internet, through cable, through Dish, through your next door neighbor. Just kind of curious. I don't think anybody's going to get in any trouble on it, do you? Thanks for clicking. I gotta go.